every color we unite, together we shine, bring the light. Through stormy weather, through the pain, with open hearts, we'll break the chains. It's you and me, we'll stand so tall in the rainbow's embrace, we'll never fall. Hand in hand, we'll share the dream, a tapestry of love woven at the seams. With every hue our voice is strong, together is one, where we all belong. It's you and me, we'll rise above, in the rainbow's embrace, we spread our love. In every corner of the earth we sing, a symphony of hope that unity brings. With every color, let our love soar, together as one, forevermore.
Hello and welcome to the Universal Rainbow Faith Church here in Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Paula Sadler and I am the founding minister and president of URF, and I welcome you all to June 1st and the kickoff of Pride Month. So thank you all for tuning in, and for all those who will be watching this later. And welcome on Facebook, welcome on YouTube. And our theme of the month is healing and wholeness and loving ourselves fully. Our focus this week is living in the flow of abundance. Actually, that was last week, so let's forward on where we are at. That was May 25th, and if you were here last week, then you remember that. Okay. And let us go on to today. Okay, here we go. Okay. So our theme of the month, and this new month of June, is sacred celebration and the power of joy in resistance. This week's focus is the sacredness of celebration in a time of crisis. As WorldPride begins, LGBTQIA+ communities face both global celebration but yet unprecedented attacks, especially in Washington, D.C., where anti-LGBTQ legislation and hate-fueled violence has cast a shadow over this year's events. So celebration becomes not just a joy, but also spiritual resistance. And this service today calls us to hold the tension between joy and injustice, and for us to rise in sacred solidarity. We have finished our core belief series, and now we are working on living and the teachings of our core beliefs. Mark your calendars next week, June 8th, for the truth about our contributions and a deeper look at trans and non-binary value. I hope you enjoyed our pre-service song today. That is our Rainbow Faith Anthem, and that is called Embracing Togetherness, which you can listen to on our Sacred Music playlist on YouTube. So I'm so excited to be here today, and so grateful to be able to share these messages with you, especially at this time and in this very special month. So let's just take a few moments, and we're going to do some centering breath work. And let's just take a moment and breathe in, and we'll breathe in celebration. And we'll breathe out fear. And we'll breathe in joy. And we'll breathe out despair. Our opening quote this week is from The Nature of Miracles. I have seen things and heard things that were very beautiful and unexplainable. I've had dreams that revealed the future, visions and feelings that came true, and people who were just suddenly placed in my path at just the right time. The world we live in is far more mystical and miraculous than most of us ever truly see. The Nature of Miracles, page 77. So today, as we celebrate, not as escape, but as bold truth, our joy is not naive, and our celebration is absolutely sacred. In a time of our erasure, joy becomes a weapon of light and a shield of light. Our mission statement: Universal Rainbow Faith is a sacred spiritual home where LGBTQIA plus people and allies are fully affirmed, celebrated, and protected. We believe that gender, love, and identity are divine expressions of the Creator. Our mission is to uplift, heal, and empower individuals through spiritual truth, radical inclusion, and sacred community. So welcome. And our announcements this week. WorldPride 2025, we celebrate and take action with global LGBTQIA plus communities. So make sure you are wearing your beautiful rainbow pride everything, and be proud and stand in that strength and that power. And know that we stand in sacred solidarity with all those impacted by violence and anti-LGBTQ plus legislation, especially in Washington, D.C., as we have been seeing. Our spiritual message and music today, we have a new release, We Are Sacred Still, and this is our call to celebrate as an act of spiritual resistance. We have a few new blog posts we invite you to check out at universalrainbowfaith.org. We Pay Too, the economic and spiritual value of trans and non-binary lives. The delusion of righteousness, how power can harm while claiming to heal. And the moment they found out, conditional acceptance and LGBTQIA plus resilience. And we're always having wonderful new conversations and blogs online, so please check that out. It is on the homepage all the way at the bottom. And now available on Amazon is The Nature of Miracles. This is our sacred, adopted, and holy text full of prayers, affirmations, meditations, and channel guidance. It is available paperback, hardback, and ebook, and it is on Amazon and also Kindle. And with Kindle, if you have Alexa, you can download. There is an assistive reader, and Alexa can read your Kindle books to you, including The Nature of Miracles. We do have a special update. We are now a federally recognized 501c3 nonprofit corporation, not only filed in the state of Nevada on March 20th, but I'm so grateful to let you all know that we have our official 501c3 designation, which will be posted to our website from the IRS. And we are a recognized religious body, a recognized church and public charity. So all of your donations and contributions are fully tax deductible. And now this opens us up to be able to apply for grants and funding to continue our mission, our vision, and our purpose. And I want to let you know how God works in all of this. So just days before our live stream launched today, we did receive this letter, and it was a divine affirmation that this ministry is guided and supported by a higher plan. It was simply a miracle and emotion in right time. And a lot of these kind of moments happen to me. Maybe they happen to you too. And after applying on March 20th, about a month later, a letter came back, and we had another signature that was required on some IRS paperwork. So that was sent off to their online verification system. And generally, it can take 6 to 9 months to receive a full 501c3, and to get that designation as the kind that we have as a church is one of the hardest. You have to meet several requirements. And we worked very hard from February 13th to March 20th until the release of our first service, March 31st, to have all of that in place and to make sure that we were checking all the boxes, crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's. And I thought, well, probably could take several months. I was hoping for faster. And that particular day, I thought, I wonder if anything came in the mail. So I went over to the mail. I looked through, 20 or 30, 40 pieces of mail. Nothing was there. And I thought, well, it's a little premature. Maybe it'll come eventually. Checked my email, nothing there. Well, that day when the mailman came, I believe the very first letter on the top of the stack was from the IRS, and it said Universal Rainbow Faith. So I opened it up, and there it was, our letter of confirmation that we were fully recognized as a public charity. So that was just amazing, just a little inspiration. And maybe you too get some thoughts like that. You might have a thought in your mind, truly a little inspiration, and all of a sudden that's what happens that day. Or you find out, just like I did, oh, the letter came, without knowing it was supposed to come or that it was on the way. Because remember, it could take 6 to 9 months. And I would say that was, I don't know, just a few weeks after I did the online verification. That was a little miracle. So I just wanted to share that story with you. All right. You can support us at universalrainbowfaith.org. Our site is going through some changes. There is a donate box at the top of the site. Our Zephy, we're no longer using that, so we're getting ready to change over to Tithely. But you can certainly send cashier's checks and checks to our Universal Rainbow Faith address here in Las Vegas. But there is also a donate option still online. It is not through Zephy. It'll soon be through Tithely. And we'll be releasing our sacred music new release today, as we talked about. It's actually already on YouTube. And we invite you to watch and subscribe. We are on YouTube, Facebook every Sunday at 5:30. Now with YouTube, this service will only be up for 30 days. They have new rules. And so to see the full archive of our services, you'll have to go to our YouTube page. And we invite you to follow us on TikTok at TikTok at Rainbow Faith Church. You can also see a little behind the scenes, music, affirmations. We have a new meditation that is going to be released. So we're making a whole compilation of meditations. Very excited to share that with you. And if you would like to get involved and be a part of growing the Universal Rainbow Faith Ministries, please reach out and email us. You can message us through any of our socials. We'll do our best to get back with you and become a part of this growing community. We're so excited to be here. So thank you. And that is all of our announcements for today. Today, as we begin Pride Month, we honor a woman whose name should be etched into every history book, every heart that believes in freedom, and every spirit that has ever dared to live out loud. Today, we honor Lucy Hicks Anderson, our saint of the month, a Black transgender pioneer, a businesswoman, a wife, a truth teller, and a sacred rebel. Today, she gives us the gift of truth. Lucy was born in 1886, before women could vote and before civil rights, before pride flags were ever waved in parades. And we're going to explore really what it meant to be Black and trans then and now. And being born in this time, she declared, "I have lived, dressed, and acted just what I am, a woman." And in an era when being Black meant facing systemic racism and being transgender was met with institutional cruelty, Lucy dared to be both. And we're also seeing that again now, more than ever in our own time and growing. She then married a man and owned a thriving boarding house. She lived proudly in her truth. But when the government found out that she was trans, they tried to erase her. Does that sound familiar? They charged her with fraud, imprisoned her, and invalidated her marriage. And isn't that what we're seeing now? But Lucy didn't apologize. She didn't back down. She stood in court and said, "I defy anyone to say I am not a woman." So in today's world, when we still see Black trans women murdered, denied health care, misgendered in death, targeted by politicians, and erased from public life, Lucy's voice still echoes with power. Lucy didn't just live, she shined. And in that glow, she handed us a gift, the sacred permission to be unapologetically ourselves. Unapologetically. And so this gift that she gave us is truly a blueprint for transgender marital rights long before marriage equality. She left a legacy of Black transgender visibility and of economic self-determination, and also a refusal to be anything less than divine and whole, even under fire. She truly gave us the reminder that dignity is not up for debate, not by others, not by the government, not by religions, and that truth is not optional. So our proclamation today: by the authority vested in me as founding minister of the Universal Rainbow Faith, I proclaim June the month of St. Lucy Hicks Anderson. Let this be a sacred time of affirming the dignity of all transgender people, honoring the contributions of Black trans women, and living with the courage, brilliance, and boldness that Lucy showed us. Let Lucy's name be spoken in schools, in sanctuaries, in homes, and in justice halls, not as a footnote, but as a foundation. St. Lucy, bless our courage. St. Lucy, bless our truth. St. Lucy, bless our pride. And we thank you for coming before us and showing us the way and giving us strength today. And so it is. Amen. Where are we at here? You know what? Well, I hope you all are enjoying our services. It is truly a pleasure to come to you every week and be here with you. We're really growing together. We're learning together. We are truly, truly walking this rainbow path together. And it's a beautiful thing. And we need each other. And we need to definitely stay strong. Well, we finished our announcements, and we now move on to our weekly message, followed by our special music. And once again, our excerpt from The Nature of Miracles. Now, some of the page numbers that I've been using are actually off a little bit because of the difference between the Kindle version and the printed version. So I do apologize for that for anyone who is following along. And if you already have your copy, you'll have to search a little harder to find these particular pages, but we will get it synced up for you. So actually from page 26. What can others do to ease the poison in their minds that is this war of hate, anger, and vengefulness? And channeled writing at that time that came. all in the right time. You see, this is the world you live in, and each day, by you growing peace, love, and hope in the garden of your heart, you will become the cause of much harmony in the lives of others just by being who you are. That is how wars are ended. It is when we shed the aspects of the self or ego that have been learned by us as who we are to be and the ways in which we are to act, and as we have been taught by other humans and not by the divine spirit. When we learn to intuit and listen deeply to spirit, we become the real self, the childlike state of mind that knows no bounds to what it can achieve and be. In the fantasy-like mind of a child lies the power of hope, happiness, and grace. Children are precious gems that are to be valued, cherished, and loved deeply by those who keep them until they are ready to fly into the world and be what they are, the selves they came into this world to be. So let us not hinder our inner growth by not being a receiver of light. The consciousness of our children depends on us, and telling children what they can and cannot be or do is limiting. So let us move forward now into the light of God, where all is possible, and not just pass this buck of living in illusion onto them. And that is our excerpt from The Nature of Miracles. Our message this week is about empowerment, sacred value, and economic, spiritual justice, entitled We Pay Too, Recognizing Our Sacred Worth. And this is from our blog post on universalrainbowfaith.org. Beloveds, today, as we begin Pride Month, not with a rainbow flag alone, but with a righteous reminder, we pay too. And I'm speaking to all in our LGBTQ community, but especially our transgendered brothers and sisters. We build this world and we fund its systems. We serve, create, clean, invent, fight, and heal. We give words of wisdom. Yet so often we are denied the very justice, care, and spiritual respect we deserve. So today's message is not about reclaiming the sacred economic and spiritual value of transgender and non-binary people only. It is for our entire community, and with whose divine worth has never been up for debate in the eyes of the divine. And let me repeat that once again. Today's message is about reclaiming the sacred economic and spiritual value of transgender and non-binary people, of the entire LGBTQIA plus people, whose divine worth, our divine worth, has never been up for debate, and it never will be in the eyes of the divine. By the fruits you will know them, from Matthew 7:16. This is a great saying, because this is truly what we're doing in our community. If you look around our community and you look at all of what we just talked about, all the things that we do, that we create and we clean and we invent and we fight, we do all these things, and we heal. We're contributing so much to society and to the world, and yet the whole government and administration will say, especially to our transgendered family, that they will stop this transgender insanity. Do you see any insanity? Can anyone honestly see any insanity in the contributions we're making to this world? And so we look at those who are making those comments, and all we have to do is apply. By their fruits you will know them. What are the fruits of that kind of talk and rhetoric and anger and hate. If the fruit is cruelty, as we've seen, and exclusion and poverty and increased poverty and shaming, then it cannot be from a holy tree. That is not a holy tree, because the divine that we serve, that I serve, bears fruits only of justice, restoration, and truth. Every year, LGBTQIA plus people contribute billions in taxes, military services, healthcare, childcare, labor, education, and the arts, and on and on. And yet, we are called the burdens. Can you imagine that? But we're not. We're painted as threats, but we're not. So let the truth be known right here and right now that we pay too. We pay not only with our labor and our taxes, but we pay with our courage and our bodies and our love, and sometimes we pay with our lives. And yet, we are denied even the basic care that our own dollars fund. This is a spiritual injustice. This injustice is not just financial, it is truly deeply spiritual. And we must work to right this injustice. To deny any human being their dignity, their healing, or their freedom because of gender identity is to rob the divine of its own reflection. That is the deeper cost that we're really looking at here. A world that refuses to see the sacred in its most marginalized people in the world, rejecting God herself. The world has profited from our labor while starving our spirits. And that ends right here and right now. At the URF, we declare your worth is not up for debate. And let us affirm that. Our worth is not up for debate. My worth is not up for debate. So just know that you're not here to beg for belonging. You're here to remember you are the blessing. Our spiritual value is not conditional, no matter what anyone says and tries to put conditions on our value. We are not valuable despite being trans or queer. We are valuable because we are divine beings who expand the image of God in this world. Just know that miracles begin when we stop apologizing for existing and start affirming the miracle that we are. So to all of our community and our allies, know that we are not here to apologize for our existence, nor will we apologize for our existence. And we affirm right here and right now that we are miracles, that I am a miracle, that you are a miracle, our entire LGBTQIA plus and everything in between, that we are all miracles. And God loves us just as we are and as we are becoming and evolving. And so I pose to you the question and ask yourself, in what ways have I internalized the lie that I must prove my worth? How many of us live each day and try to prove our worth because we have internalized the lie of others telling us that we're not worthy or valuable, and that we're not God's creations even, or that somehow our existence is a sin and an abomination in the face of some God or being of great power. Have you internalized that? How has that affected you in your life? For me, in what ways I've internalized that, I have felt that I have had to work harder and do more and give more to prove my worth over many years. Even my very own writing of my book, I did not feel worthy enough to even write and share my thoughts. I thought people will think I'm crazy. And what if they do? I told a friend that, and my friend Terry, and she said, and what if they do? And then when I wrote about it and prayed about it, God said, don't worry about that. That's not important. The people that feel that way, the message is not for them. So that helped me to stand a little bit more in my own truth and my own power. How can we claim our spiritual and economic power without apology? This is a very tough question. Right now, one way that I'm claiming my spiritual and economic power is I'm being here with you, claiming my spiritual power through the universal rainbow faith by sharing with you my very core beliefs, my thoughts, my prayers, my affirmations, all that has come through from the Nature of Miracles, my book, and also this body of work that I'm providing here with all of you, and the love that I'm pouring into these services each and every week, no matter if it feels a bit crazy, wondering what difference it may make. I am doing my very best to stay out of the outcome. That's not up to me. What's up to me, what power that I have, is I can pray for direction and guidance and then show up here on the screen, show up here on these pages, show up here in my work to share with you and continue writing more and more with other volumes and other works coming. That is how I can. How can you? What are you doing to claim? How will you claim your spiritual and economic power? How we'll claim our economic power? I have a beautiful article that I read, that I created, and I did share in these past weeks. And it's this vision for 2025. I invite all of you to look at that blog post and to see that and read that, because it really is asking an imperative that our community works together over these next, especially these current 4 years that are upon us. But not only that, also to our allies, that we must begin to pull all of the light workers together, all of those who are here to empower this world, not through hate and violence and ignorance and rhetoric, but through true unconditional love and acceptance, to raise our consciousness, raise our awareness, raise our level of understanding and empathy for the generations that are watching us, for the young children that are looking to us now, and for the entire world. Who will we be? And what will the story be that they tell in 5 or 10 years, in 25 or 50, or in the next century about the time we're living in now? Will the story be that an entire group of people became even more disenfranchised and disempowered and erased from history and made to suffer so greatly at the oppression of others and suffering immense religious persecution? Will that be the story that they tell? Maybe this erasure that we see now, the LGBTQ, there's no more T and Q, according to the federal government. There's also currently, according to the office of the White House, only 2 sexes, male and female. So intersex people have just been summarily erased, along with everyone else who, like myself, being transgendered, apparently no longer exists to them, and that suffering from a terrible form of mental insanity. Well, I stand before you today and I tell you, I'm not suffering from mental insanity, and our community needs to stand up for ourselves, and we need to have our allies help us, and listen to over 100+ years of science and study and psychology and medicine, and know that what we're being told and what's being told to the American public and to the world is a terrible and grave injustice, and it must stop. And we have to get sanity back because it is truly insanity to see what we see happening to our community right now. And so I pose that to you. How can you claim your spiritual and economic power? We will claim our economic power by employing each other, employing those throughout our community and our allies, by pooling our resources, by buying properties, by businesses, homes, creating new institutions, new grants, new funding, and loans to help each other out. And just like many other communities have done. And now is the time more than ever to take our economic power collectively. And in the United States alone, I know that that is in the billions of dollars, if not maybe trillions, with all of those in our community, along with all of the celebrity and all of those at the various levels within the LGBTQ community. Especially right now, I ask all of those who are employing and giving jobs to truly look out for our transgender family, that they need help. They need your help right now to make sure they have the resources to get access to their hormones and hormone care, to medical needs, to their therapeutic care. And if the government should take all that away, if that should happen, if Medicaid should be erased as they're taking away all of this medical care for transgender people, let us create something new and something great and local charitable institutions and programs that will help our community so they don't have to suffer and they don't have to worry, that they can have dignity to work a job, to be able to go to school, to have money if they want to open a business or do something. And that's where the empowerment comes, that we open our own businesses, we have our own properties, we own the property, own the business, we own our homes. And all of these agencies that we're creating and funding, that it stays within our community to empower each other. That's where the power is, and that can never be taken away. Once it's created, it becomes a living, thriving entity of its own that will be ever expanding. And that is where we're at. And maybe that's why what we're seeing happening. And this is a way to face what I truly see as the face of evil coming against humanity, especially within our community right now. A true face of real evil, because that's what cruelty is, and that's what harm is, and that's what erasure is. And whether people are being thrown into ovens or hung by trees or dragged by cars or beaten, killed, or raped, or murdered, all of these terrible things, or assistance being taken away, access to food and medicine and housing and jobs, creating such poverty. Not only poverty in the physical sense, but the damage it's doing spiritually, mentally, and emotionally to the entire community. And there are those who are suffering so greatly right now. They are spiraling into a depression. And this is what they want. This is what the current administration wants. They're hoping that all of the transgender people in the world will just disappear, and we have been truly targeted, and we must rise above it, and we must look out for our family who is suffering right now and lift them up. So I ask you, what systems in our life benefit from you without honoring you? Let me rephrase that. What systems in my life benefit from me without honoring me? Well, I think we can see that. I don't know about you, but I've been working since I was 14 years old. I've been paying taxes, federal taxes, state taxes, Medicare, Medicaid, unemployment insurance, all of these things. And as an employer, workers' compensation insurance, As a private citizen working for different companies throughout the years before I became an owner, a business owner, I paid into the system greatly. And not only that, all of the goods and services purchased, all of everything from utilities to everything you see here, everything you see in this room, everything that had to be purchased, all of those dollars spent, all that sales tax. So I've been putting into the system. You have been putting into the system. Just think about it for one moment. Let's think about that. Think about the entire transgender community within the United States. How much have we spent putting money into state, local, and federal taxes, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, all of these things, sales tax? We are tax-paying citizens. And not only have we contributed financially to the growth of this country and to the world, we have contributed our very lives, our heart, our soul, our creativity, our passion, our beauty, our love, our kindness, through arts and innovation, through performance, and in so many ways. But yet, we're not honored because of that. And that is part of the injustice that we're seeing right now. Also, our entire LGBTQ community, we spend millions and millions and billions of dollars nationally and globally to support a world economy that laughs at us and mocks our very existence, and denies us, although we have paid our dues. So that is something that I really want you to think about. I want you to take back and talk with your family and your friends. And I don't want you to ever forget that no matter at what level, economic level you're at, if you have a career that's making many thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, or you're a celebrity and you're making millions upon millions, maybe you have basic employment and you're just at kind of that basic level economically, but maybe you're helping the community in so many ways that goes far beyond anything that we can put in terms of a value of a dollar. Know that you have contributed to systems and that your life, your very life, has benefited this entire world, global economy, and our national economy, and this country, if you are living in the United States. And that you have not been fully honored. And we are seeing that right now. That's what needs to be talked about. That's what needs to be remembered. And we will not stand for that. Not only the stripping away of our very life force, but of our spiritual identity. So, our affirmation today: I am sacred. My labor is sacred. My love is sacred. My existence is a divine contribution to the world. Let me repeat that. I am sacred. And repeat after me. My labor is sacred. My love is sacred. My existence is a divine contribution to the world. So we began Pride Month by reclaiming what the world tries to deny us, what you have been denied. Mine and yours, our sacred value. Know that we will not be erased, we will not be exploited, and we will rise in the full knowing that the divine has never once withheld love from you, from me, and from us. And we will never be alone because we pay too. And today we rise knowing that we are worth it. And so it is. Amen. And that is our message for today. I want you to take all of that in as we go into our time of meditation. The title of our meditation today is, let's see where we're at. is the garden of joyful resistance. So take a moment and get yourself comfortable. Just take a deep breath in and exhale, feeling relaxed in the space that you are in. And just let yourself settle now into this moment. Feel your body supported, your spirit present, your breath steady. And now imagine yourself walking into a radiant garden, a sacred place filled with beautiful golden light. The air is warm with peace. The flowers bloom in every color of the rainbow. You hear laughter in the distance, voices of those who came before you, those who never stopped celebrating even when the world told them not to. You're not alone. You carry the wisdom of queer ancestors. You carry the courage of protesters. You carry the light of celebration in the face of hate. Now, place your hand on your heart and feel the beat of your sacred existence. Say silently or aloud, "My joy is a prayer. My pride is a shield. I am a miracle in motion." And so let your heart open to the miracle of this very moment. Let your body remembers what it feels like to belong. Let your soul dance freely, even in the midst of challenge. And know this truth. The world we live in is far more mystical and miraculous than most of us ever truly see. And let us breathe in that miracle. And now let that miracle move through your whole being, from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. And when you're ready, you may slowly open your eyes and return to this awareness, now carrying this sacred joy into this world. You are sacred, you are seen, you are still here, and you are still celebrating. And take this joy of celebration into your week and into this month, and so it is. And thank you for joining us for that meditation in the Garden of Joyful Resistance. And our affirmation: my joy is sacred, my voice is light, my celebration is an act of justice. We have a special message for our children and blessing. Our message to you, to all of our children who are watching and will see this in the future: joy is power. You have the right to be happy, to shine, and to be you. And our affirmation: I dance in my truth, I celebrate my light. I dance in my truth, and I celebrate my light. And our special blessing for our children: may you always know that your happiness matters and that your love is divine. Now is our time for tithing and offering, and know that the Universal Rainbow Faith operates completely on contributions from you. And our message is celebration needs sanctuary. Joy needs a home, so help us keep this space of light alive. You can give on our website at universalrainbowfaith.org on the top of the page, donate. And please be patient as we also update other options such as Tithely. But you can also send your check or cashier's check or money order to Universal Rainbow Faith here in Las Vegas, Nevada, 953 East Sahara, Suite E11A. And if you're interested in participating in other fundraising that we have for our Building Expansion Fund and Ministry Fund, we have information online, and we are seeking generous contributions and donations from all in our community, from at every level, whether it's $1 or $10,000 or more. And if you're interested in being a part in that way, please reach out to us and feel free to email or message, leave your number there and how we can contact you to share with you this incredible work that we're doing and this vision to move forward. And our affirmation for our tithing and offering: my giving is a prayer, my offering is sacred, I share in love and justice. And that brings us to the end of our service today. You know, we've covered a lot of materials in the past weeks. It's amazing all that we have been doing, and that we are here week after week and building really a sacred community and this amazing service. I realize that after 52 weeks of this, there'll be 52 weeks of services. There will be 52 new sacred songs. There will be 52 meditations, and just an amazing journey that we are on here together, creating something that I hope long after I'm gone, and one day I will no longer be here, at least in this physical body, but I hope that the spirit of what we're doing and building here today together reaches every point on the globe, every point in the universe and beyond, and then back to us here, and that we are creating something that will stand the test of time to help generations to come who will need these messages, to know what we have been through together and what we overcame through spiritual power and spiritual practice, and not only faith, but the action of prayer and the action of unconditional love working in this world. And our final affirmation today: in joy I rise, in truth I shine, in community I grow. Repeat that with me. In joy I rise, in truth I shine, in community I grow. And may you be wrapped in rainbow joy and carried forward by divine light. Let your pride be a prayer this month, and your smile be a revolution. And feel free to join in our Embracing Togetherness song, our opening and closing music. And stick around afterwards. We will have our live stream on for just a few moments. And there is a chat that is on YouTube. And I do believe I'll be able to see your messages on Facebook as well. If not, and you'd like to get in contact, please reach out and email or do a direct message so that I can get back with you.
Reunite, together we shine, bring the light through stormy weather, through the pain, with open hearts we'll
break the chains. It's you and me, we'll stand so tall in the rainbow's embrace, we'll never fall. Hand in hand, we'll share the dream, a tapestry of love woven at the seams. With every human voice is strong, together as one, where we all belong. It's you and me, we'll rise above in the rainbow's embrace, we spread our love. In every corner of the earth we sing a symphony of hope that unity brings. With every color, let our love soar, together as one, forevermore. And thank you for joining us here at the Universal Rainbow Faith in Las Vegas, Nevada, and streaming everywhere. Feel free to join us for this end of service Meet the Minister Q&A. And we are just going to change our camera direction here so that I can see all of you. Okay, there we go. Okay, hello, and thank you for joining us. So I hope you enjoyed our service today. Hi there online. And I think that I should be able to see some messages on there. I'm not sure on Facebook, but let's see if there's a way to see any messages. I know I can comment, but I don't know if I can see yours. And well, so that's where we're at today, and certainly a lot to consider. There's a lot going on, and I hope you take the message that we've shared today with your family and friends and those that you know in the LGBTQ community to give them support as you've never done before. Our community needs it desperately because this is a time of great erasure and silent violence, but also actual violence. And the way that I see and define violence is when anyone becomes disenfranchised and their rights, their basic human rights and dignity are attempted or being stripped away from them. So thank you for joining us. I love you all, and it's been my pleasure here. I look forward to seeing you next week. Like, subscribe, share, and follow on all of our social pages. And please spread the word to we're not just here for the LGBTQ community, although we are focused on our community. This is a place of spiritual understanding, spiritual revelation, and awareness. We are truly working to bring the principles of unconditional love in action to this community and to our allies and to everyone, so that we can begin to really have the healing and be a part of the healing and facilitate the healing that is needed within our own country, within our government, within the world itself. And we are non-denominational. Everyone is welcome here. The beauty about spiritual teaching is that it is for everyone. There is no separation. You can be of any faith or none at all, and you can take the beauty of what is being offered here, the kindness, the friendship, and the love, and the messages, and they can be applied to everyday life. They can be applied in all of our relations, because that is the power of universal truths, universal spiritual truths. And if you continue to show up and come back week after week, You will hear this in our messages and through the Nature of Miracles, my book, which was written after 9/11, and I shared with the world in 2009 and 2011, and recently a 20th anniversary edition that was published this last November, October, November of 2024. So it's been a very long time in the making. I am grateful to be able to share my intuition and what's come to me through visions, through dreams, through inspired thought, through many years of spiritual practice. And although my own upbringing and background is actually evangelical Christianity and born again Christianity, and I was raised in the mid 1970s and the early 80s, and became very familiar with the televangelist at the time, things like TBN Broadcasting Ministries with Paul and Jan Crouch and on, and Jimmy Swaggart, and all of those. And there is something beautiful I can see and find in any religion, in any faith. The point of separation, which I think that all people must be aware of, no matter what their faith is when faith and religion and these practices begin to separate people, cause feelings of superiority over others. And we have to know by what measurement are we really looking at who is doing good in the world. Is there a particular faith? Is there a particular religion or way of being that is more helpful and growing the world in positive ways? And what are, if any, the religions and belief systems that are separating people, causing hatred, causing actual violence in the name of doing good? And that we see happening now. And so I think we must be very mindful and use our critical thinking not only with our minds, but truly with our hearts. And we have to begin to bridge the divides that are happening, that are causing so much suffering. There is no good that can come out of any religion or belief that separates people and causes certain groups to feel superior over others, that there's this one right way of being. I think that the teacher that we have to look to is simply unconditional love. That's it. And the question to ask is, are my actions grounded in unconditional love? Is this helping or harming? The question is yours to answer. And we have many people believing they are doing good while they are causing such harm. We call that bigotry. We call that self-righteousness. I have to ask those same questions of myself. I'm not separate from that. So I have to ask myself, is this work here at the Universal Rainbow Faith, is it valid? Is it helpful? Is it promoting something that is going to harm others or harm generations? Well, I don't believe so, and my own intuition tells me to keep going, even in the face of groups and systems and even governments that say that someone like me doesn't really have a right to exist, and that there should be a forced conversion to be another way, to be as others would have me be, and people like me. So, fighting oppressive regimes is not something new. It's the world that we are living in, and we really must be the change we desire to see in the world. So, what changes are you making in your community? What can you do to advance this world towards love rather than to hatred and war and fear and violence? We have so many people that are suffering. They can't get clean water, enough food. medical care, children that come into the world suffering, not only across the world, but right here in the United States. And now we're looking at children that will not be able to get the medical care that they need, the psychological care that they need to grow up to be the best versions of themselves. And when you really look at it, we have so much discrimination based on the way people look. Whether you are gay or straight or trans or not trans, male or female or somewhere in between in this gender spectrum that some people don't want to acknowledge and say, well, that's just a bunch of nonsense. That doesn't mean anything. Well, it does. It means something to somebody. And it doesn't mean they're suffering from insanity either. Another aspect that is not looked at is we have to take into account someone's spiritual identity, how they are evolving and becoming, and if that makes them happy and makes them more productive in this world, then who are we to say they shouldn't be that way? Whether they want to wear a dress or pants, grow their hair long, or wear makeup, look at the amount of discrimination and prejudice that comes from so many, whether they see it as a moral issue, they think it's immoral, they think it's a sin, or they think it's not right, they think it's insanity. But yet, all you have to do is look at the individual human being and find out from that person, maybe they were so unhappy before and they didn't feel they were being authentic and they just wanted to end it all and be, rid of the suffering, to get off of this rock. Isn't that terrible? Wouldn't it be terrible if you felt that way and it could be corrected simply by acknowledging who you are inside, however that expression may be, and however you deeply feel within? And to honor that in another person is to validate their existence, to validate their divinity, to validate that they are a valuable member of this human race, this humanity that we have. And just think about how many have died because they were not valued, either at their own hand through depression and suicide, or through the hand of violence. It's not something that should be happening in the world. We need to work to end that completely. And that is my mission, and that is why I'm here. When I received my vision for the nature of miracles, I saw it in a dream, and after 9/11, and it was a wake-up call. It was a spiritual wake-up call, not only for myself, but, for humanity at that time. Any of these turning points, these major events that happen. And I had to dig deep within, and the inspiration came. Lots of prayers, lots of meditation, and what came out was a beautiful spiritual work and my own spiritual unfolding and awakening. And it would do nothing if I didn't share that with others. And so I'm here sharing that with all of you and to a world that is waiting for the unfolding of unconditional love within their hearts. And how do we get there? We continue to strive, continue to pray and to meditate, to ask for direction and guidance. What can you do to make the world a better place? Are you doing everything you can every day, no matter how tiring it is? And it is tiring. So I hope to see a huge change in our own government over the next months, days, months, and the next few years. I hope to see the restoral of the dignity of the transgender community, however that may have to happen, and through the courts, through the legal systems, through changes in society and acceptance, through others viewing messages just like this, whether they'll stand back and say, Look at this person. They are suffering from delusion and insanity. Well, that's their prerogative. But you can't deny there's a clear line between I think insanity, that the medical kind of term that we use, and someone who's has sanity, soundness of mind. And I'll tell you what, being sober for 22 years, going on 23 years, I know what sanity is, and I know what insanity is. And I do believe I have soundness of mind most of the time, and in a way that is helpful to this world, to my own community, and to the spiritual unfolding and awakening that is needed and called for everyone. And that is our greatest mission and purpose to be here. We have no other reason. There is no other purpose. The only purpose for existing is to remember that we have a purpose, and to pray and ask and meditate for what that is. And when that comes, to be willing to work towards that as our main purpose in life, as our main goal. And I believe it is all of our purpose to remember that we are spiritual in nature, that we are spiritual beings, that there is a loving creator guiding us, and to awaken to that fact so that we can share with the world gifts of love and peace and joy and all those things that make us so beautiful and make this human experience so amazing, whether it's the music, art, literature, whatever it is that we are here to contribute, rather than operating from an ego-based self and from a lower part of ourself that's unawakened, that's full of fear and anger and causing harm in this world. Well, that's my soapbox special for you all. And join me next week, and please invite your friends. And I look forward to seeing all of you. So I say namaste, bless you, and may you be the change that you desire to see in this world.